Okay, guys, so this is my engine collection here, and a little bit of an update, I guess. So this is not including what's already in my RC cars at this time. I'll make another video about that later. So we're gonna get started here on what's we got here. So a lot of these engines are either new, old stock, or rebuilt, or I got them from a friend, or got them for cheap, or a friend of mine from Ukraine, or whatever. But let's get started here, shall we? So first, we're going to start with our RB Concept 12, which is the same as a C12 Nova Rossi. The only difference is a cylinder head, and the block is black. Other than that, the same internals. 0.12, by the way. So this engine here is a bump start OS 15 CV Hyper. It's not a CVX or CVR, it's just a CV Hyper with a gold head. Pretty rare engine nowadays. Really nice little performer. They look great. The nice blue block and gold head. Have a few of these. This one is, like I said, it's new old stock. It has a slide carburetor on it, which is, I believe, a 10A. Moving on. Sorry about that. So next we have the Team Orion Wasp 18. This is a Japanese engine made by Toki Manufacturing. They made a 28 and a few other engines as well. It's brand new. It's never been started. It's a pull start engine. It has a single needle carburetor, just a high speed, and that's it, and an idle. But nice, rare, old, vintage Japanese engine as well. Next we have the OS 12 CVX with a V head on it. This engine is completely rebuilt out of new old stock parts that I was able to find through some dealers and whatnot. Great little engine for a 12, run forever, bulletproof. Great in RC10 GTs, anything like that. And I believe it's about 1994, maybe a little bit older than that. And we have the big brother next to it, which is the OS 15 CVX. And it is a 15, obviously, blue head edition. Basically the same as that gold one over there, but a little bit different. And once again, a great engine. It has a 12E carburetor, same with the 12. That's a new old stock engine, never been started. Here we have the new, to me, Pico Omega 21 that I got from a friend of mine. Never seen fuel. And if you're going to ask why there's paper towel on all the carburetors, that's to prevent moisture or dirt from getting in there during storage. So it's a slide carb, 2 needle carb. No glow plug in it, but I should be going to the T-Max soon one of these days. And I think they produce about 2.8 horsepower, 40,000 RPM or something like that. They're pretty stout. The only downside about Pico is they're a great engine, but no parts available for them half the time, which really sucks. So moving on for another purple engine, we have the HPI 15 FE, which has the kind of different engine feet on it. I got that from a friend of mine in Kentucky, from a guy named Rusty, great guy. Sent that to me, brand new, never seen fuel. That's also a single needle carburetor. Next we have another 12 CVX. Missing the carburetor, but it came out of one of my GTs. I'm just retiring it for now until I can find the parts to rebuild it. Still runs okay. That engine's kind of built out of junk parts. I kind of butchered it together, but it runs great. And here we have a SH18, the blackhead edition. And it's a real SH. It's not the unmarked model. SH18, made by Golden Lion Engines. Great little engine, really nice performer. I mean, cheap, they're only about 75 bucks, brand new Canadian. Slide carb, really nice, easy to tune. Great power, especially in a light truck like an RC10 GT or an old team or a Lossy Triple X NT or something like that. Awesome motor for the price. Next we have another 12 CV, except the only difference is with this one as it has the MIP cylinder head and backplate on it. It's a bump start engine. I actually had an airplane propeller on this and ran it like that for a while. And that's also a junk bin engine. And it runs quite nicely, actually. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but it also has an OS 10E rotary carburetor. Next, we have another one of those gold 15 CVs. This one actually was rebuilt. The paint's in kind of poor condition, but the cylinder head is absolutely immaculate. And it's never seen fuel yet. That engine was severely abused and battered before I got it. They never took care of it. They let it basically just rot, and I kind of saved it and rebuilt it. So, another great engine. And here we have the, it's not an Offna, but it's called a Force 15. It's a Taiwanese engine as well, Force FC. They make very good engines. I think these are only about $55 brand new. And for a 15, it gives some of my bigger engines a run for their money. I really like it. Comes with a slide carb, nice short crank, so it'll fit an RC10 GT or anything like that. Great little engine. Very, very well made. I can't say enough about it, to be honest. Also, that old video of when my RC10 GT ran away, it had that same engine in it. So, moving on, we have another 12 CV. There is two different 12 CVs. There's also a 12 CVR, which is different. But this is a CV short head that says CV Power on one side, OS Max on the other. It has less fins. And this is the older model, which just says OS Max on both sides. This guy's also a junk bin rebuild. It's never been started. It has a short crank to fit in an RC10 GT. Next, we have the little Dynamite 12S. This is not an SPD. I wish it was, but it's not. This engine is completely rebuilt. New piston and sleeve, new rod, new crank, all new bearings, everything else. This engine was tortured beyond repair almost. Luckily, the block and everything was still savable or salvageable. And it had a full rebuild done to it. It was actually in a T-Max at one point. And it was run without an air cleaner, and it was just destroyed. And it's actually, if you didn't know what Dynamite's actually made, by SH. And we have another OS 12 CV. This one is brand new. Factory. Never seen fuel a day in its life. It came without a carburetor, unfortunately, but luckily I had a spare 10E laying around. I'm just waiting for my dust boot to come in. But it is brand new. Very tough to find, expensive engine now for a 12. And here we have an HPI. This is a 12, or no, sorry, this is a 15E. This is a different engine. The internals are the same. This is a 15FE. All the parts are completely interchangeable, but as you notice, that the bottom of the engine is different. You usually find these in the MTs or RS4 MTs, things like that, or on-road RS4 Super Nitros, things like that. So this was the RS4 model. This was the universal model that would fit in pretty much anything you wanted. This engine has also been rebuilt. New bearings, new crank. Most people got it scraped up the head with an X-Acto blade, which pissed me off, but it's all brand new. This is a 2-needle carburetor, so it has a low speed and a high speed. Very great performing engine, but this one has never seen fuel yet. And another 12 CV. I have lots of these because they're a great engine. People often send them to me in parts, and I rebuild them. This one has, I believe it's been run before, I can't remember, but I've lost track over time. But another great engine. And another Force 15, little FC15. This one was actually in with the RC10 GT that ran away. Great little performer. Like I said, can't say enough about those. They make all the way from a .12 all the way up to a .46. And the 46 is 7.7 cc's. It makes 5 horsepower, and they are available still for your Sen 7.7s. And this engine here is a low C or lossy 3.4. Never seen fuel. A shortened crank with a T-Max engine mount on it. This engine is kind of sad to see it go, but it's actually sold to Pilot Mark. And he's going to enjoy it forever, hopefully. So now we're going to get into the airplane stuff. You guys have seen my Magnum XL91 4-stroke. This is a .91, so it's 15 cc's. It's a 4-stroke. Lovely engine. Swings a 15x6 prop. It's going to be receiving all new seals because the push rod tube gaskets or O-rings leak terribly. So it's going to be taken apart and rebearinged as well with new camshaft bearings and crank bearings. So keep your eye out for that because that's going to be another video at a later date. Next engine here, we have a plain bearing, meaning no crankshaft bearings, Raduga M7, which is a 40 sized 2-stroke glow engine. Very nice engine, runs very well, quite powerful. Here we have a Cox, modified Cox 049, sure start with the RC throttle, muffler, and cooling head on it. We also have the Cox Pee-wee 020 with a throttle exhaust, or exhaust throttle on it. That does run, but I'm not going to run it much more anymore because it's kind of a family heirloom. It's been around for about 60 years and it still does run, but I want to keep it nice for a while. And moving on with the diesels, we have the ever so nice running MK12V 2.5cc Russian diesel, made in 1975. That the cases were cleaned up and new bearings, and it runs absolutely fantastic. Next we have the Mars or MAP 3 2.5cc diesel, also a Russia diesel. I think made in 1983, I believe. Nice little screamer. It runs at very high RPM, very easy to start and tune as well. And we have the nice little red MK17, which is a 0.9, so it's 1.5cc Russian diesel. Also a very nice engine. It's a long nose, quite characteristic. But there it is, guys. There's my nitro engine collection so far. There's going to be more on the way. There's a few other engines that I'm not going to dig out right now because I have to go through too much stuff to do that. So I'll show you those in tomorrow's video with the other RC cars. And I'll point out the engines in those as well. Anyways, guys, keep burning nitro as always, and take it easy.